Hey guys, so I wanted to let you know before I get into the video that this video was recorded prior to me seeing the rest of the episodes for The Good Doctor this far, but I wanted to let you know that my feelings about it still have not changed. I do like The Good Doctor still. I mean, it's not as good with Melendez gone, but it's still decent, and I still like it a lot. And it's still good. I still like it. It did start off weak, with Melendez not in there, but as the episodes went on, it felt like it did get better. So, like, my feelings still have not changed about it. I still like it a lot, and I'll still continue to watch it, just like I said in the video. And I probably won't do any more Melendez videos after this one, but I will be doing another video once the season ends to give my overall view of what I thought of the whole season without Melendez. But when this video was originally recorded, I had only seen the first 2 episodes, and like I said, since then I am all caught up until it comes back in January. So I just wanted to re-record my introduction to the video and let you guys know that, just so that you're not like, oh, she's not caught up so she can't really judge. My feelings haven't really changed. I still like the show, and I'll still continue to support it and everything, but I still miss Melendez, and I'm always going to miss Melendez. I have been wanting to make a Good Doctor themed video for a while now, especially since the end of season 3. And fair warning, if you haven't seen the end of season 3, stop watching this video now and go watch it, because there will be spoilers throughout this video. So, ever since the end of season 3, I've been wanting to make a YouTube video, but I haven't gotten around to it because I've been like super busy, and then like when I'm not busy, I've just been wanting to relax. So I never got around to making a YouTube video, but I figured I could still do one now and it would still hold up, as far as like, you know, because it's still being talked about. So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. Probably end up ranting, but that's okay. Alright, so if you have seen the end of season 3 of The Good Doctor, it was a really sad and heart-wrenching finale, because Dr. Melendez ended up dying in an earthquake that they had. And like he didn't die right away, but like he ended up getting shock, and then he ended up passing. And like a lot of people were mad about that, and a campaign was even made called the Save Melendez campaign. And I kind of figured that this campaign wasn't gonna work, because I know that usually when a season ends for a show, showrunners have a decent idea of where they want to take the next season. If, the show hasn't wrapped up. So usually they have a pretty good idea of where they want to take the next season of the show. So, I had my doubts that the campaign was gonna, I had my doubts that the campaign wasn't gonna change anything, and Melendez was still gonna be dead. And I was right, sadly. But I joined the campaign anyway because I was mad that Melendez passed. Because, I'm not gonna lie, at first, when the show first began, I hated Melendez's character because he wasn't giving Sean a chance, and he wasn't, helping him and, seeing his potential. He was just, cutting him down and stuff. And so, I hated Melendez's character at first. But then later on, as his character developed and he began to see Sean's potential and started helping him rather than cutting him down and not believing in him, then I began to like his character, and his character just grew and developed, and Melendez really became a fan favorite of the show, I have to say. Every time I'd go on Twitter and talk about the Good Doctor, a lot of people loved Melendez. So did I. And I just feel super sad that his character was killed off, because I feel like there was still so much potential there. They brought on the whole storyline with his sister, with her having autism or something like that, and I feel like that could have been explored a little more, and so could have Melendez's background and his life, basically. I feel like it all could have been explored a little more. And so I was sad that they just killed him off without basically going anywhere with the storyline with his sister. And basically I just feel like his character, there was so much more they could have done. Not to mention the whole possibility of him and Claire getting together. I would have loved to see that on screen. And granted, who knows if it would have worked out or not between them. But it was awesome to see an actual real authentic relationship blooming on the show, between Claire and Melendez, between these two characters. And so I just felt sad because of that, and I just feel really bad for Claire as well, because they have put Claire through the ringer through the entire series. She had a messed up life with her mom, and then she ended up kind of patching things up with her mom, kind of, sorta, and then she lost her, and then she ended up losing her best friend, and now she lost Dr. Melendez. And I just feel like they've put Claire through the ringer. They've made her feel like so much hurt. So I'm still sad over Melendez's death, because it's like, really? Who else are you going to take away from Claire? Because it seems like whenever someone comes into Claire's life that's good for her, or that like has an impact on her, they just like rip it away from her. So I do hope as the series goes on that they do give Claire a happy ending some way, somehow. And with that being said, yes, I do plan on continuing to watch the show. I know a lot of people said that because of Melendez's death, they weren't going to watch the show. But for me, I never really quit watching a show just because a character is killed off, or like they have cast changes, or they decide to go a different direction with the story. Usually when I start a show, if I end up liking that show from the start, I usually stick with it until it ends. And I plan to do the same with The Good Doctor, even though it does feel different without Melendez being there. I did see the first episode of season 4. I hadn't seen any of like the spoiler alerts. Like I noticed like somebody had changed their Twitter handle to Melendez Alive, and I'm like, okay. So when I saw that, I didn't know if like ABC or The Good Doctor had like tweeted anything saying that Melendez was alive, or if that was just them being hopeful. But I tried to avoid spoilers until I saw the episode, and I didn't see it on Monday because I had stuff going on, but I saw it later on in the week, and I do have to say I still liked the episode. In a lot of ways it still felt, you know, like the same old Good Doctor, but you could tell that Dr. Melendez, you know, you could tell that the element was missing of Dr. Melendez. So like that was definitely like felt throughout the episode. And I know a lot of people are mad because they're talking about the coronavirus in the show, but I mean, come on, it's a doctor's show. Like, did you really expect them not to bring up COVID? Because I mean, you know, that's actually the perfect thing for a doctor's show to do, is if they're told that they have to like socially distance and stuff to keep each other safe, like bringing in COVID is actually brilliant, because they can do that and still incorporate it into the show, and then it's like nothing has to change. Whereas with other shows, they kind of have to do it in a roundabout way, and sometimes they try to make it seamless, but they can't make it seamless because it's hard. So it's actually pretty brilliant that they did that they brought in COVID. And I know that like the next episode, which is called Frontline Part 2, is also supposed to focus on COVID, but then after that, the showrunner said that that's not going to be their main focus. So the show is definitely not going to focus on COVID that much. They just said they wanted to do these first 2 episodes kind of to like thank the frontline workers, like the doctors and the nurses and like all the essential workers that have been working hard throughout the pandemic. So like I'm glad to hear that, because I know a lot of people use TV as an escape for the world. So I think that's why like a lot of people were mad that they brought COVID into the Good Doctor, but like I said, it's a doctor's show. How could they not bring that in there? And then, like, at the very last minute, they brought in Melendez, they brought him back, and Claire saw him as a ghost. And from the preview of the next episode, it sounds like he's kind of going to help Claire move on, which I don't know how to feel about that, to be honest. Like, I like that Nick is back, and I like that, like, Melendez is back, even as a ghost, but at the same time, it's like, really, how come he can't just be alive? But, like, I am glad that they brought him back in some way and somehow, and it is really sweet that like that's how Claire is dealing with everything, and in her own way is kind of using Dr. Melendez to like help her cope with everything. Like, I don't know if that makes sense, but like in a weird way, I'm glad that they brought Dr. Melendez back as a ghost, because in that way, he is actually helping Claire get over his death. And I think that in some ways that's really sweet. And, you know, I do hope that Claire can move on and be happy somehow in some way. But I just hope that the show continues to honor the character of Dr. Melendez. Like, maybe have, like, Claire wear the cross necklace or wear something of his. Or, like, do what she said she was gonna do with Dr. Lim. And they, like, go to that place every day to, like, just soak it in and like talk about Dr. Melendez. Like, I hope they continue to do that throughout the show, and they like keep him in the show in that way. And then it would be nice, like, whenever the show does end, if they brought Dr. Melendez back as a ghost again, and then he wished Claire well once she got her happy ending. Like, that would be pretty neat. One thing's for sure, I'm gonna miss Dr. Melendez like heck through the rest of the show, because he went from being a character I hated to a character I absolutely love and like fell in love with. His death was like heart-wrenching. And then like to top that all off, I remember that week I also watched another show of mine, favorite show of mine, and that ended sad. So that was like a horrible week for me, and I was like down in the dumps. And like, I think the fact that like characters like that, when they're killed off or they like die, that, or like something happens to them, like, and it affects you like so much that you think about it for months, and it's like on your mind for months. Like, that's just a testament to how good of a character was written. Like, For example, Augustus Waters from The Fault in Our Stars. Like, that character, like, when I read that book and when I saw the movie, though I read the book first, but when I read that book, like, you know, his death had me down for like months as well. And like, I think that's just a testament to like how good characters like that are written. Like, when a show kills them off, or when they get killed off in a book, and you're like gut wrenched about it for like months, and it like affected you like as if it was a real person dying. Like, that's just a good testament to how well they were written. And so overall, I think Dr. Melendez's character was like so well written, and I hope they keep his presence in the show, and I hope the show still ends up being good. And lastly, I just want to say thank you to Nick for bringing such a great character to life. And I actually made a Goodbye Melendez post on my Instagram, and Nick ended up liking that post and ended up commenting, and it made my night, honestly. So thank you, Nick, for engaging with the fans and being there with us as we went through your character's death. And I hope you continue to do that, because I always think it's awesome when celebrities like engage with their fans. So I hope you continue to do that, and I wish you luck in all your future endeavors. And as for you guys, I will talk to you guys later, and I hope you enjoyed this video.